Alright guys, we're unmuted. Come back. I'm still trying to do dumb paperwork stuff here, so. Oh, memento, I do that. Join the lobby though. We'll just leave the in-game screen on so I don't miss the start.
Alright. Oh, I guess we are missing one of the players.
So there's this thing where some sponsors, they want stats, right? And then that makes a lot of sense, like how many hours did you stream each month and all this stuff. And I guess the new, hang on. Yeah, okay, that's the right number. Never mind. Excuse me, I was gonna bitch about something, but I just read the Twitch dashboard wrong. Because we stream a ton of hours each month, and we don't do rebroadcasting or anything, so it's like actual hours. And this new one wants to know live. I was trying to differentiate. It says live hours. I'm like, so do they think we're doing a lot of rebroadcasting? What numbers do they want here? But okay. Anyways, focusing more on this. This is gonna be the finals match coming up. This is, and when I say finals, this is like the finals, guys. There's nothing else behind this, or beyond this. This will determine the last player to go through alongside Showtime for the German qualifiers. So you've got either GunGFuBanDa or HeroMarine.
Yep, and we just kind of went over before the break that HeroMarine didn't look so hot versus Protoss. But that GunGfu could be a very different Protoss than Showtime. I mean, first of all, Showtime is kind of like, you know, performances throughout the years put them in one of the top places for Protoss, or GunGfu. Certainly a good Protoss, not as much. And second of all, it could be a very different style of play. Showtime, I think even, he could be the unique one here by going for those Colossus. We could see GunGfu actually do more standard stuff, like maybe an Adept all-in, maybe just an Adept Stalker Gateway army, attack. Something that HeroMarine might feel more comfortable against. But we'll never know if GunGfu never joins the game.
That's true as well.
There he is.
Man, I'm really glad we got the part 2 promote back, by the way. That unbroke so many things on the bot that were broken.
That's good. Ooh. You ever had Brazil nuts?
Are those the really big ones?
Yeah.
So I've been told that they're just bullshit nuts they put in because they take up more space or something. I actually like them.
I've not known anything about Brazil nuts. I've never had one before, but my aunt brought them along with like a pie or something for dessert, I guess, or for snacking. I have no idea. But I tried one, and yeah, they're pretty good. I liked it.
They're just big chunks of nuts. It's like the best way I think to describe it. I like cashews actually quite a bit too. Salty
I feel like
cashews.
they taste a lot different than other nuts. You know, like cashews and peanuts and whatnot taste. Brazil nuts taste, I don't know, just different. It tastes heartier. Anyway. Oh, we're finally ready. Damaga said go. Apparently Damaga, by the way, or someone using his account, is the leader.
Damaga has actually done some casting in the past. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was actually Damaga.
They keep calling him Damago, which I don't think it would do if it was just the account. But he's not just like a caster that's joined that was like, oh, cool. He's also the guy they give host to like do the go ahead. So,
all
big
right,
boss.
Camera's on you. You're gonna have to do this a little bit on your own for a moment because I have to apparently deadline this like now. Sorry.
Okay. Just hopefully that didn't break the.
So far, so
good.
good.
Oh well. Okay, good. Then you do whatever. It's game number 1 in a best of 5 for the losers grand final. So the winner of this will qualify. Loser is absolutely out. In the bottom right, as the red Protoss, he is GunGFuBanDa. Oh, that's right. I was supposed to do that. Whoopsie. In the top left, as the blue Terran, he is HeroMarine. That might have broke the camera. Oh well.
Let me see if I can fix that. No, it looks fine.
Well, that's weird.
No,
It'd be amazing.
It did break it.
Okay.
Rip.
I was gonna say, it'd be amazing if this is the one bug thing they fix as opposed to any of the other ones that are more obvious.
No, I wasn't looking at first. I thought it was fine.
Okay, well, it's fine again, so. King Sejong Station. I'm usually pretty, like, you know, good for Terran, like, versus Zerg, versus Protoss. I think there's a lot of points that can be very obnoxious to deal with. I mean, first of all, you got 2 entries for the Reaper, so it could be sometimes difficult to hide stuff for the Protoss. Second of all, you do have this whole complication area in the natural with the Liberators or Widow Mine drops. A Zerg usually has a Spore Crawler back there. Kind of as soon as they realize an attack could come, they put the Spore Crawler. And that just saves them a lot of headache for detection as well as dealing with drops and whatnot. Protoss doesn't quite have that same comfort because you don't get to forge that quickly. You know, you can't just put a cannon down there and say, okay, I don't have to deal with it. And the main is fairly big, so you do have a lot of opportunities to drop as the Terran. But it's, you know, I really want to see what type of player GunGFu is versus Terran. We know that HeroMarine was having trouble versus Showtime, but a lot of his mid-late game play was forced by what Showtime was doing. Because I don't think that HeroMarine expects or, you know, for 8 minutes, right, from the start of the game to have to go for double starport reactor. He's probably thinking more like, okay, if I see that he gets X amount of army and I haven't killed him by Y time, then I need to get to Liberators, for instance. And then, I don't know if he's a Liberator range type of player or not, but that's usually the way to go. But if you see Vikings and you might want to change up your mind, it's actually a very interesting dynamic between Liberators and Colossus. It's not that you can't go Liberators versus Colossus, but that Vikings, with the range and their mobility, can be the answer like they were in Heart of the Stormwind's Liberty. So it's definitely preference. But it was also definitely forced by what the Protoss was doing, and GunGFu could do very different compositions. He's starting out with an Oracle, which is not a big deal or even really that indicative of what's happening after, except that he's going to get some really decent scouting, maybe a couple SCVs, but since HeroMarine is going for a Widow Mine drop, and most professional Terrans put the anti-air in the mineral lines just to be safe initially, I think that Oracle might just die. Reaper gets back in here. Hellions get in the natural, and ooh, a couple of nice lined up shots. Oh, almost got a second lineup, but accidentally hit the Adept instead. 4 down. Reaper's still alive, actually. Could get another grenade in there. Hellions gonna go in the main. Everything has been scouted, by the way. The Oracle has to even stay at home to help here. There's that grenade. This is some really good damage. The Hellions are kind of like a very awkward point in this build. Oh, it's not even a drop. I kept saying drop, but the starport never came down. Okay, that's funny. Anyways, because, you know, they're not really going to be added on to the army, not like they can be versus Zerg, but you did spend time on your factory building those as opposed to, you know, more Widow Mines and whatnot. But I think 5 probes was worthwhile, as well as any other income disparity because of the mineral line being seized. So, not going to tango with the Oracle. He doesn't know about the Widow Mine, I don't think. But Widow Mine's in the main anyway. You can never be too sure, though. You don't want to lose the Oracle. You don't want to run both Oracles into a Widow Mine, have one get splashed, and just get KO'd by the rest of the Marines. And I think there's enough Marines, too. He saw the Marines up top, but he still went for the fight. Interesting. Oh, gets the mule that went a little too far forward. He's trying to target fire that last Oracle, you know, with good firing. Good micro on the Oracles, that tap, tap, tap. He does end up getting 9 SCVs. Would have been very different had HeroMarine had all of his Marines bulked up. That's for sure. That was a nice... That ended up being nicer than I thought. I thought he was going to get 4 or 5 SCVs and, you know, not be so worth it. And even lose one of the Oracles, but only lost the Adepts. I think that was really nice. Has a pretty well-timed third base. I don't really say quick because most Protoss third bases are quick compared to Heart of the Swarm, but didn't really have to worry about a direct attack so early because he did know, like, you know, it was Hellions first, and then he actually got a scout into the main base of those Adepts and saw the timing on the starport, so he knows he's been safe for a little bit. Revelation could come down here. There we go. That's gonna make it a lot easier to deal with this. Now, Stim will be done, and if all the Marines unload and, you know, GunGFu is not paying attention or his Oracles aren't helping, a Sentry could be sniped here. A Mothership could be sniped as well, but it's something that HeroMarine would have to dive in and dive out for really quickly. You Gets the pylon, gets the sentry. Once the second one can't get it, gets out with about a medevac full of units. I'd say that was pretty worth. And the game continues. Unfortunately for HeroMarine, after losing the SCVs, he hasn't really rebuilt any. He's still not building them. There we go, SCVs. And his third command center was delayed for that too. So his economy's not really all that baller was. Of course, GunGFu, third base, almost fully saturated. Got a couple of probes coming out. Only lost a bit of army. And should be able to replace it once his production is set up. Which he does. He's on 4 gateways? Yeah, only on 4 gateways. I would expect a few more gateways to come down soon, but he is also getting a lot of tech. You know, you actually using the Robo, +1 Twilight Council, Robotics Bay already on the way. Very interested to see what that's going to be, if it's Colossus or not. Because so far, actually, HeroMarine, you know, he hasn't seen a Colossus yet. I think he's thinking Liberators. Either he's thinking it's not Colossus, or he's experimenting with different responses to later, mid to late game Protoss, because it didn't work against Showtime. Just trying to harass as much as possible. I think we had a resub. The Chosen One has resubbed for 19 months. Wow, how hewa. It's back to you. Ditto. Thanks for the resub. It is Colossus. Alright. I especially questioned it because GunGFu was going for Disruptors versus Zerg. He might just be that, like, disruptor player, like we know that Puck kind of is, right? Okay, it was Puck. But no, it's Colossus. Liberator range is on the way, and if he now knows it's, you know, if he finds out it's Colossus, let's see here, he did not see the Robotics Bay. It's unfortunate. If he finds out, I don't think it's the end of the world. Like, he really seemed to want to go for double Starport pumped Vikings versus Showtime. He might just want to change it up, but he also might just have to deal with what he has. And I don't think Liberators are that bad, especially if they have that range. They can still, you know, ideally get a lot of shots off before the bio army on the ground melts, which is kind of like the dynamic between the two of them. So I fumble along that word. The Blink's on the way, another upgrade's on the way. Actually, pretty even on the upgrades. Oh, well, no, here. I was looking at the Extend Thermal Lance. GunGFu's actually a bit further ahead on the +1. And it is important, by the way, he's going to Extend Thermal Lance. I'm going to be more... I'm going to pay attention to that a lot more, since I've certainly made the mistake of not realizing they've had it, or not had it. Well, scan goes down to the third base. Doesn't tell him much. I think he was trying to get a scan on the army composition, or maybe like a Dark Shrine, because sometimes tech bows are over here, but... Unfortunately, doesn't see very much. Not even this Colossus that just walks in with a cool theme. There was a Dark Shrine, wasn't there? Or maybe I'm... Oh, yeah, still in the production tab. That's why. So that's going to provide a bit of complications.
Okay. Hi. Sorry, that took a while to do. I'm done.
Okay.
Also, fair warning, Blizzard just tweeted about DDoS attacks, so that could make this a very awkward ending to the finals if things get stalled out. Hopefully they don't, though. So just a fair warning to all.
They've been having trouble with that for the last week.
Yeah, well, it's Poodlecore's been the ones maliciously attacking them. And they've been doing stuff like, if this gets 2,000 retweets, we'll stop. It gets 2,000 retweets and they stop. I don't know. They're...
I preferred not knowing their name, actually. This is like when serial killers are...
It's not, though, because unfortunately this is just something where everyone... Like, this is one of the situations where it's better to be aware of who, so you can check to see. Where serial killers are doing it for fame or whatever, these guys, like... have been, like, they took down Riot servers, they took down Blizzard servers. On one hand, I agree, like, we shouldn't give them extra publicity and attention, but on the other, it's actually useful to check and see because they tweet about when they're taking things down, so you know whether it's Blizzard and they're messing up or if they're getting attacked.
That's another discussion for another time. The Liberators do have range. Tempests were, of course, on the docket for GunGFu as he realized that the Liberator count was getting so high. And that's also this interesting additional dynamic between Colossus and Liberators. When the Liberator count's below, I want to say 8, Colossus can help a lot with it. Seem to take care of the ground army and the Sagas take care of the Liberators. When it's above 8 and goes into like 12 or 14, I actually think Liberators with range are better, and you do need Tempests. That 4th base is given up. I think that was wise by GunGFu. He did some light harassment on the side of the map. Unfortunately, his ZT is not working out as much as the...
Oh God, that was the heart of the army.
Oh, that's too bad. He was, of course, cleaning up the rest
There's-
of the adepts, so I wasn't paying attention.
But so this is when it's really important. That also took out a lot of specifically marauders. And if enough of the marauders go down, then the stalkers can start blinking past the liberators and trying to focus them down. Not saying that'll be an easy task, obviously easier said than done, but if there's no marauders to push you back, that's where that potential at least arises.
Mm-hmm.
I think HeroMarine knows this too, and that's why he's been very cautious not to push out. He's leapfrogging forward the Liberators, so the Liberators are covering the other Liberators. It's a slow push and gives GunGFuBanDa time to get Tempest out. And while this goes on, by the way, we do have a rally of reinforcements, but we have seen classically in this scenario, too much of the Marines die to the Colossus. There's not enough actual anti-air for the Phoenix or for the Tempest afterwards, and this could be an awkward situation.
Yeah. That's why... Yeah, it's really important for the Tempest to be out like this. I actually think the Liberators would be able to push forward if that wasn't the case, regardless if the Colossus can do enough damage to the ground army. Pretty awkward blink, of course, because of that ravine.
The
in the middle
Colossus
of
are
Seagon
stuck.
Station.
They
Yeah,
can't get into the
another
fights.
reason. Very
But,
awkward.
you know,
indeed.
the Stalkers are great on the top side. They wrap around. The Tempests are getting some slow shots off. The Liberator number wasn't stopped, but it was culled pretty heavily. And with no Marines left on the ground, there's nothing to stop the Tempests.
Yeah, the fact that the Colossus are still alive, like everything that's expensive is still alive for GunGfu is
Yeah.
absolutely huge. Unfortunately, I mean, his reinforcements are starting to target that Nexus, aren't going to be able to get it though.
Yeah, while I unfortunately missed like the first 60-80% of this game, it's really interesting to see the way this has come down because HeroMarine, for me, because I'm joining in like right at the very end, it's kind of floppy, kind of bad, kind of just a not great finish here to the late game.
Yeah. It's unfortunate too because that was an awkward engagement for both sides. You know, first HeroMarine took that humongous disruptor shot, but then GunGfu was kind of dicked over by that ravine thing, hole in the middle right there.
Yeah, giving his Colossus back.
If there was like, you know, 10 Marauders left over, actually a lot of the Colossus would have probably died.
I was gonna say, I wonder if that might have been better though. Keeping them back is the same as just like not putting them in danger, right?
Yeah, that is actually a really good point, but now he doesn't really have a response to the Tempests. Ideally, you would be, making Vikings right now, but...
They're coming too late, and there's not gonna be enough money.
Army.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think ideally at this point, you wish the Colossus weren't here so you could just go Marines and take out the Tempest that way. Unfortunately, though, the Colossus are proving a problem. Fonte Fortune's actually getting some shots off. You don't see that too often. I guess, does he not have... Oh, he does have thermal lines. He just walked too close, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, the Bi Army just melts. 4 Colossus is a pretty key number to see that type of thing happen, and HeroMarine has lost.
Yeah. Very unfortunate. Big thank you to Corvinus. Love the show. You two are my favorite commentators. Fire... Whoa. That winky face at the end makes me think that that's a mean comment. But I'll take the compliment that went with it, so thank you kindly.
Thank you. GG.
GunGFuBanDa takes the first game, and it is, by the way, a best of 5. A lot of people... I had the best of 3 up for the first 2 minutes or so of the game, but it is a best of 5 for the finish.
Yep. But unfortunately, HeroMarine continuing his bad luck streak against Protoss.
It's interesting because you watch some players who seem to have this matchup figured out, like Beyond, for example, right? Like, okay, cool, Beyond knows how to play this, he plays Ghost, he plays this, but even then when he doesn't and he's just sticking on Bio, a lot of it comes down to the way they're putting pressure on and never giving anyone a moment to breathe. I didn't see that game, but I'm imagining with the army GunGFuBanDa was able to amass, he didn't have too much trouble breathing.
Yeah, after the first like 5 minutes, I don't think he was in trouble.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens here to bring game number 2 back. Lobby is already going up, so we'll hold off on the ads for once. Yay! As we really only do put them in there to cover downtime. That's the thing about ads, actually talking about advertisements on BaseTradeTV for a moment, guys. We generally try our best to keep it efficient with the ads, we'll say. So we're not going to hit you with ads every single game if there's not going to be a ton of downtime. But if we know there's discernibly going to be like 5 minutes of downtime, filling 2 of those minutes with ads, it gives us a couple of cents, but also takes advantage of the downtime as well, where otherwise we might not actually have something to talk about. I think you and I are pretty good at filling downtime, but there have been periods of time where I'm tired, you're tired, and we just got nothing to talk about.
Yeah, are you saying it makes a lot of sense to play ads?
I am torn between loving and hating you right now. On one hand, I hate you because not the pun itself, but that's something I should have pounced on. And then
Yeah, I was afraid you were gonna get to it first.
the love comes with the respect of making a solid pun. Like, that was a good 10 out of 10 on that one.
Thanks. I tried.
Okay, well, we're just waiting on GunGFuBanDa to ready up. In regards to the webcam, because I've seen several comments about this and we have a few seconds to talk, guys, I am planning to get a new webcam. To be honest with you, it's just a matter of being lazy. I could go to Amazon right now. In fact, I could use the Amazon referral links below so that when I do shop for that new webcam, it gives Zombie up a couple of bucks at no cost to myself.
Thanks. Yeah, I was actually on Amazon all last night, again, while watching Battlestar Galactica, and I was totally window shopping.
Right? I do that too. You're like, okay, I'm not coming here with the actual intention to buy anything, but maybe there's a lot of cool stuff that I could browse.
Yeah, and the suggested things, and you're like, oh, that Dragon Ball Z, thing is pretty cool. Oh shit, there's like 100 plus. I gotta look through every single one.
There's this website called like thisiswhyimpoor.com or something. I can't actually remember what the actual URL is. This is why I'm broke. I love perusing that one because you're like, oh cool, $21,000 little jet ski, no big deal, but hey, that's neat. Like, okay, getting back into StarCraft though, guys. Game number 2. It's a best of 5 spawning here in the bottom left. He's up 1 game. It's the red Protoss, GunGFuBanDa.
And top right, as the blue Terran, he is HeroMarine.
So which of these two names sounds more viable? Like, they're both joke names. I'm going to put that out there. But which one sounds more viable to be a real person's name? Humongous or Ben Dover?
Ben.
Really? You think Ben?
Yeah. I've never met anyone named Hugh. Are you kidding me?
Hugh Grant? Hugh Laurie?
I'm sorry, I've never met those people.
Okay, fair enough. I mistook what you said. I thought you meant like you've never heard of anyone.
I've heard of it, but it's like one of those old names. It's like Margaret, I feel.
Yo, I feel like if you were named Margaret as a baby, you like Benjamin Button really hard. You're just like already an old person if your name is Margaret.
There's like a Friends episode where they're deciding on names for like Rachel and Ross's baby, and yeah, that's like one of the names, is like a super old one like Margaret, and she was like, oh, I'm sorry, are we having an 87-year-old?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I would think of.
Ruth,
no
that's
offense.
what it was. Because they were like, we're gonna have a little baby Ruth, and then they agreed to not do it.
By the way, if anyone in the audience is named Margaret, please understand that you're old and you'll have to cope with that for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you're right.
Sorry, no offense intended, etc.
Yep. There are just some names like that. Leslie is also one. Like, Leslie's not terrible, but I feel it is also old.
You know what? I feel like, oh gosh, what's her name? Why can't I think of it right now? Parks and Rec. Amy Poehler. Amy Poehler made Leslie a young name again.
What's so weird about Parks and Rec is that the first season was bad, first of all, and then it got
horrible.
renewed.
Boring.
But it was also that, like, in the first season, her character of Leslie Knope was really to me, I thought she was like much older than she was. So when they started pairing her up with people, it was actually like old people getting together. But in the seasons after, she started like just seeming really young, and like getting together with Ben was like totally cute and okay. I don't know how to explain it. Okay, maybe I'm just ageist and I hate old people.
Sounds like
old
you're ageist.
People.
See, like everyone has like
really
everyone has checks and balances, right? So like while you're like really pro feminism and promoting that side of it, you have to be lowered somewhere else on the scale. Maybe that's the age gap. Although there's no such thing as an age gap, am I right?
I loved Benjamin Button, by the way. Speaking of that movie.
That was a cute movie. That and another one that I really enjoyed that I find a lot of people haven't seen is Big Fish. I really enjoyed.
I have not. You're right. I didn't
That's a good one. I recommend that one actually to people. But okay, so as far as this goes, we got Widowmine's coming down to protect against the potential oracles. The problem is Mr. Reaper here hasn't seen much of anything. It might even be worth sacrificing soon to see what exactly is coming. It's one thing like, okay, you don't have to worry about the oracle, but it's another if it's a robo and you're like, oh damn, that's a fast as hell warp prism.
Yeah, knowledge is power after all. You know? And he's about to get some. He sees the robo.
Shit. That you saying that just reminded me. I don't know where that spider went from earlier.
Oh,
it could be anywhere right now.
Huh. Yeah, it could be. Well, it's probably just being a bro and staying in the side. I mean, It's really unbro of them when they get up on your like in your grill. But when they're transferring from location to location and you happen to spot them, that ain't their fault.
Yeah, but I've had like one descend in front of me before. Like that's not
Yeah,
cool.
that's not bro. That's not cool.
Like, why,
You don't save that spider. You don't save that spider.
When did bro become the adjective here, by the way?
Because it's a bro spider, okay? It's the thing.
Alright, so Observer sees the Widow Mine, tries to zone it out. HeroMarine debating sticking to his guns and focusing on the Nexus versus backing away. Unfortunately, that Nexus isn't even going to be too bad off once it finishes. Probably about half health, full shields.
Mike Hunt is another one that actually sounds okay.
Michael Hawk is one of our subscribers. I always say it that way on purpose. He's 1 month. He's gonna wait. It'll be like a drunk cast, and I'll be like, "Shoutouts to Michael Hawk! Oh no! I did it!"
I remember one time we had to like this is like a dream, like 2013 DreamHack or something. Actually, I think it was with Wardy, so not you and me, but we had to cast someone who had a name like that, one of those trick names where you said it
was
you know normal. It actually sounded really dumb.
It was Gape Horn.
Yeah, you're right.
And I will never forget because
you cast the same guy anyway.
I felt so embarrassed as soon as I said it. I was like, and it's gonna be Gape Horn. Oh, damn it!
It was so long ago. I remember it was on Neoplanet S too. Like things to remember.
The thing for me about that was it was at that time I didn't know if I would get in trouble for that. So there was like legit fear that I had done goofed, you know? It's like when a streamer accidentally shows like porn on stream, not because they meant to, but because like it was a pop-up or something, you're like, oh, I'm getting banned on Twitch. Like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Like that was not intentional.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man.
Is Leslie ever an old name? I don't know, when like two of my really old relatives have the name, I guess.
I had an old librarian named Leslie. It's the reason I think it's an old name.
Yeah, of course this is all going to be very much dependent on
I wonder what other old names, like, so you've got names in German and stuff that are a little bit different, but you still know it's like a name.
Helga's never going to be a beautiful name.
Right, like, they had the Pokemon character, her name was like Helga or something, and like black and white. But I wonder how many other languages have that name stipulation to it, right? Like, obviously I don't speak Chinese, but is there like a variation of Chinese that name is just an old person's name?
Oh, I don't know about that. I just know that when it comes to like East Asian names, there's actually a legitimate problem that like there's too many of the same name. I really wonder how they keep track of ancestor records. Anyway, completely not about StarCraft at this point. Nailed it. So, tank push coming in here. This is kind of funny. HeroMarine did the same thing in the second game versus Showtime, but on a different map that was Frost. It ended up being taken care of by a Phoenix opener, actually. Different opener here by GunGFu, but it gives him more ground units to work with. And without the tanks, without the synergy going on for the Terran, HeroMarine is kind of screwed.
He does get a little bit of a win here. He denies a lot of mining to the natural, but you're right. Like, it's not about this, that, and over here. His main forces are just not going to cut it against this attack.
Mm-hmm. This is game over? I mean, so many SCVs are gonna go down, regardless if the army goes down. Looks like the army won't go down. One Immortal still left over, could target fire a lot of these Marauders, but the recall was much smarter.
I mean, first off, yes, I like the recall. We've actually seen a good use of recall through today's series. Like, between Showtime, GunGFuBanDa, just the Protoss in general in Germany are not shy to use recall, and I'm actually really glad to see that. I just feel so bad here for HeroMarine because it was a worry. Like, when he fought Showtime, maybe it was just the player or maybe it was the matchup. And right now, it is feeling a little bit more like the matchup.
Yeah, it is. Especially since GunGFu was playing a different style, too. Last game, he did end up getting to Colossus, but this game, it is that, Immortal Gateway army that HeroMarine's still having a bit of trouble with. Now, his production kicked in. His SCV pool ended up being just enough, and his army supply is not bad. This game isn't over yet, although it looked quite desperate. But I think that he needs to seriously take a good engagement here, or it just will straight up be over. Scans, TvP. Feeling some supreme lag on my end.
There was a small spike there for me. I just assumed it was my issue, but okay, if it was everybody, then that might be a bit of a problem. Hopefully nothing sincere.
Well, I think HeroMarine's going to lose that fight anyway. I don't see any micro that could have gone down. If he was also affected, that is, we don't know. And GunGFu just takes a army supply lead, and of course he has that probe lead from the get-go, plus still the SVZ killed. Now gonna have an upgrade lead as well with +1 armor finishing. Already has a Warp Prism to attack with too, so no waiting around for that. And HeroMarine, oh god, he's sieging up the wrong location too.
It's something where you could argue, like, if this was in the right position and intercepts this correctly, the Liberators could buy him the time to get the army he wants. He's not behind by a whole lot, but it's enough. GunGFuBanDa's going to push into this. Widowmines get to burrow. They're actually not going to get a chance to go off, though they do get focused, but Liberators are going ham on the backside of the army. Stalkers blink underneath them, though. The question now is, can the bio hold? There's not a lot left out of GunGFuBanDa. Hell, SCVs being pulled might even be a solution, but it's not going to be here. GG gets called, and GunGFuBanDa takes a 2-0 lead, now putting HeroMarine on his last life of the tournaments.
Oh, it sucked for HeroMarine. Just getting knocked out because your worst matchup happened to be both finals.
That could be the case. We are going to go to commercial break, though, guys, quickly before Game 3 gets up, and we'll see you soon for what is possibly, but hopefully not, the last match. All right, folks, we're back getting into the lobby for Frosts. Not too surprising for a map pick, but is certainly surprising to see HeroMarine on his last life. I really do idolize this guy to be quite the good player. And it's not that I'm disappointed seeing losses or anything, but it is surprising. Like, I really didn't think he would flounder so much in the matchup.
Flounder. Well, after his Kespa Cup run, I imagine he had to have faced a couple of Protoss there, although maybe he got really lucky and didn't. Or maybe he just wasn't that great a Protoss, I'm not sure. But he was looking like on the up and up and a really good contender for the new Terran to hope for, along with the other ones we have, Euthermal and Marine Lord. And one other that I'm forgetting. But here it just is like a nosedive, unfortunately. I'm sure he's not feeling so great right now, and I hope he never watches the VODs, but it's true. He got to the finals twice. Well, once and then dropped down to the finals again, I suppose. But the point is, can't win in either of them.
Yeah. Real quick, by the way, since we were talking about like movies and stuff earlier, I just want to say, like, I know Zomgrub is personally not super enticed by this one. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is one of my favorite movies of all time. I recommend this to everybody, and it's back from like before like Robert Downey Jr. went to like rehab and stuff. It has Val Kilmer in it. I really enjoyed it. It's like I love the humor in it too. Like it's I don't know. I recommend it, basically. Just throwing that out there.
I tried explaining why I recommended Azumanga to a friend.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, right? As to why like it's like a funny thing that they should read. Because I've never watched the anime, so I'm just going to suggest that they read it. But I really couldn't. And like I even tried to find like a panel that I thought was hilarious. And I don't think he thought it was hilarious. Feels bad.
The clone of Dr. Sidewinder just reset for 8 months in a row with a ton of cats. I guess he cloned all the cats too. Nice.
Ooh.
I guess we never did. We never managed to get Fear Dragon to watch Akira, did we?
Well, he's already watched it. That was the whole problem.
Oh, I thought he had never seen it was the thing.
No, he had, but he hadn't seen it in a really long time and he didn't really remember it. And I was like, well, let's watch it again. And he was like, no, I want to watch something new. And he's like a big butt about it.
There you have it. All right, well, spawning here on the top left side, he's one game away from locking down his spot to go to get through the German qualifiers to finish alongside Showtime to be one of the top 2 players to make it out of this qualifier live. It's going to be the Red Protoss GunGFuBanDa.
The top right as the blue Terran, he's HeroMarine.
So, Sem in chat, I'm not going to yell, but he does have all caps as he exclaims some displeasure for the ad volume. This is a topic that will randomly pop up from time to time, but frequently enough that we should address it. Unfortunately, well, a lot of people misunderstand how much control broadcasters have over ads. We don't get to pick our ads, we don't get to pick what type of ads get played, and we sadly also have no control over the volume of said ads. So it's a bit unfortunate because the only control we have is basically saying, all right, Twitch, you've got the go-ahead to play ads for 2 minutes now, and that's it. That's all we can really do. So if you are having troubles with, like, you're getting 10-minute ads or anything, we only ever play 2 minutes. So first off, there's a problem. Secondly, if they're too loud or anything like that, guys, you have our absolute blessing to try and find a inappropriate workaround, we'll say. But for those that do watch our commercials and don't mind the volume, please know that you have our gratitude because ad revenue is how me and Zomgrub make the bucks here on BaseTradeTV. And it's not a lot of money, but it's enough for us to keep doing what we do.
Yeah. Bucks are actually made from watching ads, not from mating in the wild.
Because that's what deers are also called. Well played.
Hey!
Zargo333 says, Rifkin, are you getting your sweet mythic fix today? Dude, I did like 5 mythic 5s yesterday. I'm so mythic out, but I do want to run heroics with viewers or something sometime. I think would be fun.
See, I don't know what it is. Like, I like listening to you talk about World of Warcraft, and I think it'd be, like, it's cool that you're streaming and everything. It's also just, I feel helping me understand as to why people watch WoW. Because I even watched a WoW stream yesterday when nothing else was on.
If you ever want to get into PvP, I'd recommend my friend Vinruki. He streams a lot. He actually won a BlizzCon a few years back, and he's really communicative with his stream, which is what I like.
Yeah. I do know him, and I actually already follow him.
Nice. Oh,
Yes.
by the way, did I mention he's handsome as hell? That's just like a
I mean, I literally met him.
cherry on
I'm
the cake.
confused if you're being really declarative.
I'm trying to advertise for
Is
the
that a
other people
word?
tuning in.
Okay,
I'm trying to do my bro
Just
a
making
favor
sure.
with this name drop, okay?
I'm just making sure because I'm like, yeah, you know, I met him, right? Can confirm he is handsome. If that was, I guess, of question. Anyway, but yeah, I guess it is like it's like the communal. Like whenever you meet someone in real life who's also played WoW, there's so much to talk about. Like if you have literally nothing else to talk about with this awkward date, but you're like, so you ever play WoW? There's probably a good like 2 hours worth at least to talk about, like fun times.
I feel like if you're having an awkward date, though, okay, on one hand, you could be the good person who finds a solution, like a common ground topic to discuss, or you could just not waste your time with that person.
Well, I know I always joke about how bad I am or how bad I would be as like a girlfriend or as a date, but I'm actually like the one that tries to make interesting conversation of the date. And usually my go-to is video games. It works pretty well. You know, you just need some time to open up like a flower, and then I drop them later. Ha! I'm just kidding. I'm not that mean.
That empowerment right now, though.
Rip off the head.
Is that how that works? Like, males have the entitlement, but women have the empowerment? How's that balance out?
I don't know.
You're like, this is not a topic for now.
I don't know. Did an oracle just die? It did. It got totally wrecked by a widow mine on the other side of the map.
Widow Mine got one of the adepts over here too. This is actually not going too badly for HeroMarine this game. Getting the Oracle on this side, well, unfortunately we weren't looking, was good to start. The fact that he actually gets a bit of damage over here is not too bad either. Unfortunately, it's not a lot of probe kills per se, but it is still damage that he's not really been able to get in the games leading up to this.
He did have a nice Hellion attack when you were gone.
Okay.
So
Put an asterisk on that.
that's not your fault. Yeah. He had a Hellion attack that killed like 5 workers plus 2 more in the main from a Reaper. So if it's along the similar lines, this just means that he'll feel confident and great about his early game, but he still will falter in the mid to late game, which has been his problem majority. Like he doesn't do anything wrong in the early game, right? Like as far as damage taken, maybe occasionally an Oracle gets 4 or 5 SCV kills, but it's not like he doesn't have a good build order or anything like that.
No, it's definitely the dynamic that's coming in that late game. Dealing with Colossus and juggling those around was a difficulty versus Showtime. We've seen it be a bit of a struggle here versus GunGFuBanDa. And I think that it's a fair problem to have, because Terran, generally speaking, whether it's against Zerg or against Protoss, their late game just doesn't measure up because of the balance of units. And I don't mean in terms of like balance whining, but you're literally using tier 1 units versus like tier 3. So it makes sense that they would struggle. Also, just generally speaking, Protoss have a lot of options for splash damage, which does seem to be a core weakness of Bio. Whether it's storms here and there, the Colossus beams firing in it, or disruptors. I mean, just bim, bam, boom, everything splashes and hurts.
Pretty important that GunGFu has everything together. Already losing that Oracle, losing the
Mothership
as well.
Core! Oh, boy, is that finishing?
there
There we
you
go. I love this attack, though. This is everything that's been problems.
Is this a
GG?
swing? Whoa!
Whoa! I love this, though. This is
What's
everything
happened?
that's been problems for HeroMarine has come from playing later in the game. By winning it earlier on, he cuts out those problems, and now he has a win against Protoss, but also, more importantly, no longer falling out to GunGFuBanDa.
He is still 1 game away from elimination.
He is. Like, that doesn't change, but it does show that he's got what it takes to hit that early aggression and maybe not lose just 4 macro games in a row. Either way, big shout outs to Wellmoo, by the way, of all people. Thank you for hosting us. I didn't realize Wellmoo was streaming today, actually. So that's awesome, dude. I hope your stream went well. And hello to Wellmoo's viewers. You're tuning in just in time for the finals of the Germany WESG qualifiers. It's a best of 5. So we are 3 games in, going to map 4, and the score is 2-1 for GunGFuBanDa. That being said, the lobby is taking some time. Oh, there we go. Time to go up. There we go. So never mind. Don't worry, guys.
You get in there before I do.
Well, I've started real IDing in since they just won't invite me, and it feels bad, man.
Oh. Well.
So again, just that reminder while we're waiting. I'm gonna be hosting. It's gonna be solo casting because Zombie won't be here. She'll be at Kings of the North, but 2v2 coming up on this Sunday, and I really do encourage like anybody to play. 2v2s are kind of stupid in the fact that 2 schmoes can really beat 2 pros if they cheese hard enough. 2v2 is a vastly more savage and unforgiving landscape in some instances. But yo, we just got a new sub, Slimers. Woo! Slimers, thank you for subscribing.
Today.
Feels good, man.
Amazing.
Some people aim for 5. I'm happy with 3. Speaking of numbers, I didn't realize The Magnificent 7 was already in theaters. I really want to go see that movie. I don't think it's going to be anything super amazing, but I love Westerns. I love Chris Pratt, so I think it'll be a good time.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fun movie, even if the reviews aren't super stellar.
I haven't. Don't tell me the reviews. Never tell me the odds.
Okay, I take it back.
Thank you. Actually, I think again, it wasn't objectively an amazing movie, but I really like the Adam Sandler one that came out recently too, like the one that is the the Ridiculous 6.
Yeah, you talked about it before. Still probably never going to watch that.
Terry Crews. I will watch anything with Terry Crews in it, okay? F7 Super Serial kicks off this game with a resub of 21 months. Hey, you're now old enough to drink. I'm now legal to consume... Oh, hey, he made the same joke. I'm now legal to consume adult beverages on this stream.
Amazing.
I'm doing that thing where I'm like waving my fingers from me to you, from me to you. Like, yeah, same thought process. But okay, we're getting into game. This is still his last life, and he chooses a very safe way to start this game off. In the bottom right side, it's the blue Terran HeroMarine.
The bottom left as the red Protoss. He's GunGFuBanDa.
So what I find exceptional about this, right, is like he might turn this into some cheese if he wants to. But what I really adore about this is this guarantees GunGFuBanDa is going to have a later scout one way or the other. In fact, leaving the depot down is better because then the AI won't bug out and the probe will come across the bridge. It'll waste that time. He'll raise it at the last second, then it has to go all the way back. So, again, not that GunGFuBanDa actually is too well known for scouting in a lot of the series we cast him in. This is one where he's not going to get the chance to. Not easily, at least, with the way HeroMarine set this up. And I really like the way he set this up.
Yeah. This is a build that was used in Shotcraft by, I want to say Innovation, but maybe it was by another Korean Terran. It's been used in the Alima League once. It's not super popular, but it is cheesy just as much as like a real proxy, because this is proxy's a strong word, right? And it's not. It's in proxy to your base, not theirs.
Yeah.
So yeah, you are gonna go to the factory. You got the second gas. If GunGfu did get a scout, he'd obviously see the buildings right there. But even if they were proxy, like real proxy, he would see the double gas. And this is all tells. But since GunGfu's not really scouting at all, this might just be HeroMarine realizing that throughout the last 2 games, he's gonna be completely surprised by what could be cyclones, could be a tank push. I doubt it's Helene. The reactor is just for Marines. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at Dazo47 in chat. Please, guys, if you could donate money to Zombie Grumps so she can pay for our maid, seeing as her room is a mess! Is that Zombie Grumps' mom on Twitch right now? Did she figure out how to make a Twitch account?
I find it really amusing when people, because there's like a one person every couple of streams that say my room is a mess.
People say my room's a mess.
Yeah, it's really not that much of a mess. If the floor is 90% clear, I consider that a not messy room, basically.
Well, for me, it's like my bed is usually unmade because like I don't make my bed. So
It's healthier not to make your bed.
it actually is. I remember reading about that because of microorganisms. Blah blah blah.
Oh.
Oh, this is a problem.
Get wrecked, HeroMarine.
This is a big problem for him. Not only is this scouting revealed, but this is going to give GunGFuBanDa time to react to this tank push. I was going to follow that up, though, with the fact that you never see my room, like the floor. You don't know whether it's like a hoarder down here or whether it's spotless clean, but everyone assumes it's a mess because my bed's messy. Like, rude? Anyways, this tank out of HeroMarine still might get something done. I love the Cyclone follow-up to it a lot, but more importantly, GunGFuBanDa, who was going for the Stargate anyways, goes for a Phoenix instead of an Oracle. And I think this is a really smart choice. It'll push off the eventual Liberator. It can pick up the Cyclone to break the lock-on. It can possibly remove the tank, depending on how committed he wants to be. Oh, he's coming in with that tank. This is going to be a little bit awkward. Heals up the Marines, though. It doesn't actually lose any. That's very important.
Yeah. This is a build that is all about, you know, stacking on top of each other slowly but surely onto your units. Same for GunGFu, of course. Like, he needs time to get his production rounds going, and the pylons will certainly provide that. Cyclone can target fire some key units, for instance, like a pylon.
This is where we see a bunker and a turret usually come down. There's the bunker, but there's no engineering base, so we're not going to have a turret.
Go for it. Picks up the Cyclone with the Adepts take care of the Marines. The Marines did focus fire the Phoenix that picked up the Cyclone. That was nice.
Even then, though, this still might not be enough. He's going to lose out on a lot. That tank can't stop against this many units. That Liberator can't stop the Adepts either. The Phoenix is around it. Well, he does pull the tank back, and things get saved temporarily. Oh, God, can you save that Cyclone? Oh, if he had picked it up, he totally would have.
Real close. Now, HeroMarine has one more push in him, but seriously, if this isn't going to work, especially if the probes don't have to be pulled.
Yeah, this could be all
game
over. I like the idea of using the Liberator to cover the tank. He would like to push that forward further, but he can't. Picks up that tank once again, falls back. Cyclone coming back into the action with that brand new one. But the Liberator's about to go down. It got quite a few kills before going down, but I don't think 2 mech units can win a game. He's did a great job with control. He micros that Cyclone back once again. Wants to get a lock on and run away. Tank doesn't want to go down just yet, but the medevac too low to pick it up. And while the mothership core dies, there's just too much Protoss remaining. And for HeroMarine, a lot of this did hinge on that tank. Granted, the mothership core going down is the same role that the tanks would have played because it, no longer overcharges the problem. But now you got the Phoenix, you got these Stalkers, and the best part about Cyclones is they're good at catching units in low numbers. The fact that GunGFuBanDa is getting any time to build that number up is what's stopping him from getting away with this.
He is in a difficult position to continue the game. Defensively, he's fine for a while. Although the Phoenixes could go in the mineral line. They can't take on that many Marines. So again, like there's like the option of a second push, because that other push was like the 1.5 push. This is the second push. It's there, and maybe this is the one that does something that means his command center coming up will actually be used, and he won't just have to tap out of the game. But I don't have super high hopes.
Congratulations to M895C. You're the 11th month resub of the day.
I think he is the only 11-month resub. That's correct.
Yay! There's no prize, though. The
Yeah.
Liberator actually almost took out all the Phoenix before going down. It got a lot of splash damage in, and the Marines were trying their darndest to make sure that those Phoenix would have died. But that's... I really feel bad for HeroMarine. I love the ballsy build. I love the goal of trying to do something a little bit different, but it's just not worked. He tries to take a natural base, but I really do not feel there's any follow-up to this for him. He's playing from way too far behind.
Yeah.
At some point, too, GunGFuBanDa might just go for the attack, realizing, like, there's nothing. He's held off.
He knows that have to go for the attack through the north, and that's quite a chunk of time to invest when HeroMarine does have a couple of harassment units he wants to make sure he doesn't get surprised by.
Yeah.
So he's just going to play defensively, get a third base.
This is something where, by the way, if HeroMarine was following this up with Triple Command Center, playing really bold and risky, on one hand, you're like, yeah, you might die doing that, but it might have been his only chance to get back in the game. The worst part about this is because his tech labs are out here, he can't even pull these back to the main. His production is just straight up exposed all the time, always.
Yeah, that's a little bit silly to look at. Like GunGFu, he doesn't want to lose his lead. He's going to play very macro.
You know what else is actually apparently very silly to look at?
What's that?
That mess behind you. Clean your room.
What mess?
This will be the new "Did you lose weight?" by the way.
What did you want to clean? What did you want me to do?
Actually, I'm looking at your camera, so I have to pull it up. Your room's not that messy.
Right? Like, I don't know what he really is upset about.
The better way to describe the background of your room is it's cluttered. You got a lot of posters. You got a bookshelf full of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's not messy.
Feng shui, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely not. Because would that be racist?
It's appropriation, which is maybe a form. I'm not even sure, honestly. That is what we should have not done.
Stealing that culture, man. One of the Phoenixes
anyway.
goes down. Unfortunately, though, as stated before, HeroMarine in a rough spot. Not just economically. I mean, with mules, he's still not even catching up to GunGFuBanDa. But technologically speaking, he's going for bio. This means his production. It's just, he needs like 4 more barracks. And frankly, a 5th one if you consider that this one's out here and exposed.
Yeah, right? Oh boy. I guess pushing with a decent amount of tanks and a lot of Marines with stim. Marines with stim will always be scary. Like, GunGfu will have upgrades as well, +1 and resident glaives. He'll have a massive amount of adepts, since that seems to be the way that he's going. And he's the one that's pushing, actually. The SCV sees this. Run, buddy. Oh, they both pick up at the same time, like the same location. Oh my god, the symmetry on the minimap was amazing. Okay, I'm done.
It's meant that to Reddit oddly satisfying, I guess.
Something like that.
Only StarCraft players will know. Okay, so if +1 was better timed out with Stim, I would actually be a lot more hyped for this attack. Stim alone, though, still brings a lot of power, and again, maneuverability above all else, but taking on these Adepts will be a challenge. I actually don't know whether it would have been good to transfer in there or not, because the tanks are going to be dead zoned really hard by this.
He didn't have resident glaives at the time.
There you go. Well, there you go. This also works. Base trade time. He can lift his buildings and he can win the race on this side of the map.
He's nowhere close to bases.
It's like, you know, you traded a Caterpie for a Charizard. It's that kind of trade.
But oh my god, they like named it like, you know, what would you trade it for? A Caterpie, a Weedle. They named their Charizard Weedle.
Oh man,
oh, you bastard.
That just sounds like a terrible scam that you just failed. Like, congratulations, you played yourself.
The Reddit thread where it was like some guy ordered a oh my god, I can't remember what it was. It was like a phone that was 32 gigabytes, and I sent him 2 phones that was 16 gigabytes, and they gave
with
him
a Yu-Gi-Oh transfusion.
Pokemon.
Yeah, I saw that. I love those Amazon fails where like they get pictures of the product sent to them. Like,
amazing.
I feel like if that happened to me, but I spent less than $15 on whatever it was, I would actually find that hilarious. But if I spent like $80 on something and that's what I got, I'd be fucking furious. Anyways, that will wrap up the broadcast, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today for the WESG German qualifiers. It's going to be a little bit quiet on the channel coming up towards the end of the month. Zombie Grub has said it's going to be gone this weekend, so I'll be doing a bit of a solo cast to try and fill that downtime. We're going to be doing a 2v2 tournament this weekend. Should be fun, hopefully, ideally. I'm looking forward to it at least. We'll be testing out a new admin, by the way. You may have seen him in chat a couple times. Dares is a pretty nice guy. He wants a shot to get some admin work in. So I said, yeah, we'll give you a shot. We'll see how it goes. We've got Overwatch stuff planned out. Like we said, 8th and the 9th will be the qualifiers. We'll be doing Ting Overwatch stuff over there. And don't worry, guys. We're still planning out a Ting Season 3 for StarCraft. But as stated, that'll be coming likely after BlizzCon. Other than that, the only things on our docket are going to be the Corsair Cup and the Alima League. Rumor has it, by the way, that Innovation is signed up for the Alima League this coming week. So, ooh. But then again, we also had Lucira and Solar and a lot of other people signed up who didn't show up. So, hopefully we get to see some really sick Alima League action this weekend. Or this week, excuse me, as it's a Tuesday night. That being said, though, guys, once again, thank you all so much for tuning in. Make sure to check out our sponsors as they help keep the channel alive. You get chairs for cheap through Chairs for Gam. You get headsets for quality through Corsair. You get really pretty watches over on Yord, and, of course, games on the cheap with G2A. You can check out the Amazon links down below, but please know that those Amazon links benefit 100% Zombie Grub. So if you shop through Amazon, make sure to use those links first. It won't cost you anything, and it gives her a little bit of extra cash. Other than that, follow me on Twitter at riff_kings. Follow the channel, guys. Hit the follow button here on Twitch, but also go subscribe to our YouTube, youtube.com/BaseTradeTV. I'll let you have the final words before we take off. Zombie Grub, any final shouts or saves or messages about your upcoming weekend?
Yeah, okay, sure. Follow me on Twitter at ZG Gaming, on YouTube at ZombieGub. Uploaded a new builder tutorial for the Zerg side of things versus Terran.
Ooh,
and follow me on
analytical.
Twitch, ZombieGrub.
All right, that being said, guys, well, I said I'd give it the last word, but really it's me just saying we're going to end the stream with commercials. So take care, goodbye, and we'll see you later.